There's another cruel twist to this story. When Foreign Correspondent was here in 2006, we filmed Nguyen Tom and Chan Meng's old homes at the site next to the proposed new Australian embassy. The embassy is now complete, but it appears the people next door were moved merely for the sake of land speculation. This is the place where the residents of Andong lived before they were forcibly evicted. But the urgency to remove and relocate the residents now seems misplaced. Where their houses once stood, 6 years later, remains vacant land and prime real estate.
Since 2003, we can see that the land conflict is worse than before. Why? Because the government now give to private company the economic land concession. And this land is given to the private company for a lease of sometimes 90 years. So it's like given to the company. And what happened to the people that live in that place? They were simply evicted violently most of the time, without or with very few compensation.
Madam Kek has long been a champion for Cambodia's poorest people. She shows me a map marking land concessions granted in Cambodia over the last few years. 99-year government leases for mining and agriculture now cover 2.1 million hectares, about 2/3 of the country's fertile land. In the last year, investment in construction in Cambodia has also risen by a record 80% to around $1.8 billion US. Development is needed, but it's the poorest communities that are paying the price for progress.
How would you describe the way that the government and the authorities, the security forces, treat people when they're evicting them and relocating them?
We found that unacceptable. You know, they come, they use the force to evict them. They didn't commit a crime. They are ordinary people.
Some evictees are lured from their homes with the promise of another, perhaps even better than the old one. But rampant corruption within layers of officialdom means those promises are often not kept.
Ngày 3 មករាដូចជាកូនខ្ញុំដូចជាកូនអ្នកស្រុកខ្ញុំពេលដែលឃើញគេឈូសកំទេចគាត់អត់មានអារម្មណ៍អត់មានការអត់មានអារម្មណ៍ថាទៅរៀនទៅសូត្រទេព្រោះគាត់បាត់បង់ផ្ទះហើយដូចជាខ្ញុំពេលនោះខ្ញុំសឹងថាស្លាប់ជាមួយនឹងផ្ទះក៏មិនតែខ្ញុំនឹកឃើញថាអត់មានអ្នកចិញ្ចឹមកូន
Jay Kim Horn and other families who've lived here at Boracay, another urban settlement, were supposed to move into apartments in these buildings for low-income people. But bribes sealed the properties for others. Now they're living in the rubble of their old houses, rubbish raining on them, thrown from the apartments above.
Chỉ chọn miền Tây bầm plan, miền Tây bầm lơ, thà phụ nhomนี่chỉ nè bầm lơ, chỉ nè bẩn lom, ở vậy để phụ nhom chạy ra đây, cứ nhom trong ai quát trong mà mơ phụ nhom to, phụ nhom về tận địa cái lần na, nhom bị ba, nhom luôn nơi đó tới ngày đi cứ dập na, chỉ bị phía phụ nhom đâm đạp từ.
Attempts by Cambodia's media to highlight the plight of its citizens have met with intimidation and violence.
We noticed that in the past, some journalists that criticized the government, they were assassinated. So from 1994 until 2008, the last one was killed in 2008. They were killed in the daytime, like mafia style, and no perpetrator was brought to justice. And now we can see that the government changed the strategy. Instead of killing people, they use the court to arrest them, accuse groundless accusation, and put them in jail.
The case of radio announcer Mom Sanando is a standout example of the government's intolerance of dissent. He was accused of using his broadcasts to mobilise a group of rural villagers to try to secede and form their own state. The farmers had been opposing a land development nearby. When government forces stormed the village and forcibly evicted them, a 14-year-old girl was shot dead in the melee. Mom Sanando has never even visited the area, but he was convicted of inciting a rebellion and jailed for 20 years. Mom Sanando's Beehive radio station is now run by his wife Din Panara, who continues to protest her husband's innocence. At 71, he may die in jail. Q Canarit was jailed in the 90s on suspicion of dissident activities. Now the former newspaper editor is Cambodia's information minister, and he makes no apology for the jailing of Mom Sanando.
What is the underlying threat in that?
Explain it to me. The law says if you create secession, it's a crime, punished by law.
But what do you fear that that will lead to?
No, because you know where that if you create secession, it's not the problem of a small secession, but this we create a snowball, okay? Because at that time we have a lot of problem of land.
The minister acknowledges his government has to address the concerns of evictees as an election looms next year.
Do you see this as an election issue?
Yeah, sure.
So how do you propose to address it?
That's why we distribute the land people to the people. We organize their living condition, okay, and we improve the infrastructure for them to live in a new place.
Matt Rendell, the Australian instrumental in the new land laws, should have a keen sense of the vexed relationship between Cambodia's authorities and its people.
Oh, we had a break.
We're having a break now?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
His wife Sapor fled a brutal civil war and wound up in an Australian detention centre seeking asylum. It's where she met a young advocate who fought a 4-year case and won.
The Cambodians say a man without a wife is like a fish without a tail.
The pair fell in love and are now making their life back in what should be a very different Cambodia to the one she fled.
If I have to, right?
You should never have forced evictions. I think everybody agrees with that. In all those circumstances where there's an argument that those people have a right to the land, be it right or wrong, that's got to be assessed first before you come and you physically remove those people. And I think every sort of right-minded person would think that way anyway, because that's not allowed under the law.
The pt2 have become an inspiration for Cambodia's dispossessed, but they've been sorely tested by a long ordeal. After their arrest earlier this year and a trial lasting just a few hours, Vanny Nankun and the other Bongkaklak women were sentenced to 2.5 years in prison. When they were sent to jail, children campaigned for the release of their mothers, along with other members of the community.
Children outside, they demonstrate, they have a lot of imagination, They put us ahead, the photo of the mother, they cry, they touch the heart of a lot of people, and we hope that the heart of our leader will be touched like ours.
The women were released after more than a month in jail, partly due to the intervention of the United States, and as Cambodia prepared to host the ASEAN summit. But while the government has allocated around 12 hectares of land, it refuses to release details, and they're still battling intimidation and risking rearrest. Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Sen has been in power for more than 10,000 days. Human rights groups accuse Hun Sen and his cronies of a massive land grab engineered through violence, fear and corruption. Protesters who tried to draw attention to the eviction issue before the ASEAN summit were arrested. Phnom Penh may have grand designs on a future as a vibrant Asian capital. But one real measure of Cambodia's place in the region and the world will be how it accommodates its poor, who have no power.